What is the equation of a unit circle? It is x squared plus y squared equals 1. And in general, when we have a radius of r, we have x squared plus y squared equals the radius squared. Let's draw this. We have a y-axis and an x-axis. And when we have a circle, a unit circle with radius 1, this here is a radius of 1, and so is the vertical radius of 1. In fact, any given point, x comma y, will have a radius of 1. We see this is the y value, and this is the x value, and we have a right triangle here. And we know from the Pythagorean theorem that x squared plus y squared equals 1 squared, where 1 is the hypotenuse. So indeed, x squared plus y squared equals 1 is the equation of a unit circle. And instead of 1, if we have the radius of r, if this is an r, then x squared plus y squared equals r squared. This here is the equation of any circle with radius r. Let's draw the unit circle. We have a circle with a radius of 1. And if we pick any point on the circle, we'll pick a point here, we'll call it x comma y. Notice how the y value is here, and the x value of this triangle is here, x comma y. If this angle is theta, what is sine of theta? Sine, using SOHCAHTOA, is opposite over hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse happens to be 1, the radius. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And anything divided by 1 is just itself. So y equals sine theta. From SOHCAHTOA, it's good to memorize that y is sine theta on the unit circle. Similarly, let's use SOHCAHTOA to figure out why x is cos theta. Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. And adjacent here is x. It's x over the hypotenuse, 1. Anything divided by 1 is itself, so x equals cosine of theta. Now, where does the trig identity sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1 come from? Sine squared theta means sine theta all squared. And cosine squared theta means cosine theta all squared. Now recall that from the previous part, we figured out that y is sine theta, and that x is cosine theta. If indeed the Pythagorean theorem is true, that c squared equals a squared plus b squared, we had the x and y values such that this is y and this is x, and the radius was 1. So x squared plus y squared equals 1 squared, which is just 1. Replacing x with cos, we have cosine theta all squared plus sine theta squared equals 1. And this means that cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. This here is an important trig identity to memorize. Let's now visually represent tan theta on the unit circle. We know that this here is a unit circle with radius 1. This radius is also 1. The x value is cosine of theta, and the y value is sine of theta. Now, if we extend out this tangent line, barely touching the unit circle, we'll call this k. What is tan theta? Focusing on this larger triangle. We know that from SOHCAHTOA, tan theta is opposite over adjacent. Focusing on the larger triangle, this here is a similar triangle, we have k opposite over adjacent, which is the radius, 1. So what is k? Anything divided by 1 is itself. K is tan theta. So the visual meaning of tan theta is this height generated by the tangent line to the circle.